My name's Lucy Blair and I'm director at Motive Unknown, which is a digital marketing agency specialising in music, and we're based in the UK. We have quite a wide range of clients actually, and some of them are artists, some of them are record labels, and some of them are actually music tech companies. So with the music tech companies, we're kind of working with them from a very early stage, and we are sort of developing their whole digital marketing campaign from scratch. So which is mainly based around things like retargeting and advertising, and developing their advertising strategy to help them find their audience when they're starting out and work out, which audience responds best, who they should be targeting, what their key demographic is, all of that stuff. So for the music tech companies, we really start with them very early on. With the record labels and the artists, it really depends actually. Everyone is different. Some people are just starting out, some people are very new. Other people, at times we work with major labels like BMG or Sony, and the artists might be already very established. Equally, they might be with the major label, but they might be quite relatively unknown. For example, I've just done 2 campaigns for BMG. One is with the Charlatans, so very big back in the 90s in the UK, huge kind of indie pop band. They're very, very well known. The other guy is a singer-songwriter called Jack Savaretti. He's just released his 4th album in the UK, but he's still not very well known yet. So for him, and the campaign with him was very different kind of campaign, because the Charlatan's very well known. He was just starting out. Well, he's been around the industry for a few years, but in terms of building his reputation and his audience, he's still quite down there at the start. So we work with a lot of different people, a lot of different stages in their career, and it's really about adapting to the individual needs of the artist and the audience, and trying to find out what's going to work for this artist and this audience. And I guess it all starts from the objectives, at the beginning of a campaign. What do we want to achieve here, and then work backwards and say, okay, and how are we going to do that? What are the best platforms? What is our campaign strategy? What should our key milestones be, and all of that. I guess it partly starts with the platform that you want to use, because there are different retargeting platforms. So we've worked with Gupta, for example, and Smart URL. We've worked with Radiant One as well, and we also work with a company called found.ee, which was started by the Found Group. They're a digital marketing agency based in the US, and actually, if I can highly recommend to your audience, there was a show.co blog post last week or a few days ago with Jason Hobbs, who's the founder of the Found Group, and I highly recommend that you go to the show.co website and check it out, because he goes into quite a lot of detail about retargeting and advertising and how you should do it, things you should be doing, things you shouldn't be doing, and it's a really good read. So found.ee we work with a lot, and what I like about them most is that they enable you to own your data. So, the audience, the retargeting pool that you build up via found.ee, that's yours, and if you decide to stop working with Found, you want to host it somewhere else, that's fine, that's easily done. Whereas with someone like Radiant One, I find that A, we don't get as detailed insights back as I would like to, and B, they own your database, basically. And something that Darren and I are always very keen on is working with clients to make sure that they own as much as their own data as possible, because that's absolutely crucial. When it comes to retargeting, as you said, you can just, and sometimes for small artists with a small audience, this can work best, just kind of do general retargeting, where, like you said, you might just target people who go to your website homepage or one specific page, and then build up an audience of those people, and kind of have them in a bit of a catch-all retargeting pool that you're going to retarget your album to, or your tour tickets, or whatever it might be. But I think when you get to being a more successful, bigger artist, you have a bigger audience, and you're kind of at a different stage in your career, then I think you need to start being smart with your retargeting and kind of breaking it down into, these are my Facebook fans, these are people who responded, on Spotify, these are people who've responded to an iTunes album, whatever it might be, and just kind of trying to break down and segment your audience and your retargeting, and then, make sure that the ads you serve back then are very much targeted to each individual audience, rather than just doing the catch-all pool of, I'm just going to send one ad to one audience. For me, definitely the value is being able to segment that audience, and then working out what content is going to appeal to them best, what's going to get most engagement, what's going to drive most conversions ultimately, and most sales for you. For me, I think it's not so much about knowledge, because that's what we're there for, and that's where we can help and add value. So, and you can always train people as well, and teach the clients you're working with. And actually, I think a large part of what we try and do is, not just do things for them, not just say, okay, we're going to do your social media post for you, but it's much better and more effective, I think, to teach them how to do it themselves, because it's always much more authentic and much more engaging when the audience is, when the artist is genuinely engaging with the audience themselves. You know, people can tell, right? They have bullshit filters which are, you know, super high these days. You know, it's always easy to tell when it's the artist and when it's their management or whatever. But I think for me, it's not so much about the knowledge, but, you know, knowing what they want to achieve, because I think this is something that gets overlooked so often, is that people just kind of dive into digital marketing and social media and they think, oh, I have to be on Facebook and Snapchat and Vine, and, you know, I have to be doing everything everywhere. And they haven't stopped to think, well, you know, do I actually need to be on all these platforms? What do I want to achieve in my digital marketing? You know, how am I going to achieve this? What's the best way to do it? And as someone mentioned at a panel earlier this morning, you know, it's very much about knowing your audience as well. So it would be nice if you know, the artist paid more attention, I think, to the analytics and to who their core fans are, and, you know, because there was a panel earlier this morning where there's a guy called Adam Cardew from Absolute Marketing, which is a digital distribution company in the UK, and he said that when a client comes to them and they're just starting working together, he always says to the artist, can you tell me who your average fan is? And, you know, most of the time the artist can't answer that. So that is one area where I wish that they would do some more research. They would know who their fans are and how best to reach them, but also what their objectives are and what they want to achieve, because then you can work backwards from that. So we're Motive Unknown. Our website is www.motiveunknown.com, and you can also there sign up for the Daily Digest, which is our daily newsletter roundup of the best music tech news every day.